one after that. He talked about the degeneration of people, that they become physically or morally or whatever less than their forebears.
I think there's a Greek proverb that after each generation passes, mankind grows more evil until the dawn of an era when all mankind will seek his power.
Interesting. Of course, we know that towards the last day, towards the end of the world, there'll be such an increase in evil. And frankly speaking, we're seeing it now. There is man's ability to invent things to do more evil and more in bigger numbers, more thoroughly. That seems to be, like for example, the atomic bombs.
Yeah. And these plastic explosives and
all that kind of stuff.
Like that. It's a UN figure that we spend the amount of money we spend on arms every 2 weeks globally would feed, shelter and educate the whole of the undeveloped world for a year.
Yeah, that's right. There's big money in it. But of course, we know, for example, in America, that there's so many jobs depending on this industry as well.
Exactly.
And it was, I think, you've heard of George Bernard Shaw, the writer?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He has a very good book called Major Barbara.
Yeah.
It's a play, actually, about a rich man's daughter who becomes a Salvation Army major.
Yeah.
And the father is an arms dealer. And, he says very clearly in that they have to use up their arms so they can make some more to keep the economy ticking over. Yeah. Otherwise they're stockpiling a lot of bombs and shells and so forth. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Sometimes I don't read newspapers or look at the news for weeks on end. It's just too depressing.
Yeah. Something's going to affect you. You're going to find out about it sooner or later. So.
Yes. Your father is still alive, or your mother and he separated?
Yeah,
or
they are. Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
Okay. Divorced.
Do you see your father much?
Not much.
He's got a new life for himself now. Or
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Still in England? Or?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's moved down the coast.
Oh, right. Yes. He knows that you're a Muslim. I mean.
Yeah.
You've tried to interest him in it. Sent him any books or anything? It's often difficult, isn't it?
I've sent some pictures and things.
Yeah, a lot of my relatives, when I started sending them little books about Islam and things, they cut me off completely.
Yeah.
It perhaps wasn't the right thing to do, I should have progressed a little more slowly.
Yeah, I've got an auntie she's not Irish, but she lives in the States. And she keeps on writing letters. Jesus is the Son of God. And
she's a Catholic, presumably.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It's sometimes more difficult to reach your relatives than it is strangers.
Well, I just said to her that in any version of the Bible, and all the Christian scholars agree on this, the only reference to Jesus mentioning Son of God is Book of John 19, where Pontius Pilate says to Jesus, I want you to write Son of God on the cross. And Jesus says, you're the one who's saying it, and you're the one that's going to have to write it. That's the only mention of Jesus mentioning Son of God.
Because he refers to himself as Son of Man, doesn't he? Many, many times in the Bible, in the Gospels, I mean to say. Of course, as you know, the Catholics generally don't bother with Bibles, especially the Irish Catholics.
Yeah.
I never really looked at a Bible till I became a Muslim. There was never a Bible in my father's house nor my grandfather's house. So I never knew anything. Because they're told, don't read the Bible, you just get confused. You have a question, ask the priest.
Yeah. And the priest had the right to enter someone's home any time, night or day.
Still?
No, not now. No. Of course. But they up until, I think, the 50s or something?
Yeah. That's right, yeah. I remember we had a local priest who used to look under the sofa cushions and things to see if we were hiding news of the world or other immoral publications.
Yeah.
So I agree with him now, you know,
Yeah.
in that way. Were you a religious family? I mean, were you brought up a Catholic? The rites of the Catholic Church, confirmation,
No,
confession?
I didn't have that. My sister did, but I didn't.
Mm.
I was agnostic, really. I did believe in God.
I think agnostic is perhaps the national religion of England now, isn't it? You know, there are not a lot of people who are philosophical atheists who say, I don't believe in all this rubbish. And there aren't a lot of people who are regular churchgoers. But there are a lot of people that I used to meet anyway when I was out and about there that would say, yeah, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. God will understand my confusion, and if there is a God, he'll be kind to me, you know, and understand that it was all a bit confusing. So eat, drink and be merry.
Yeah, I think that's generally the philosophy.
Yes. Do you have a lot of English people in the staff that you work with?
No, I'm the only one.
The only one, okay, right.
In the whole school?
Actually, my life's a bit like that now. I meet a few people like yourself. I have a few British or American Muslim friends that I see from time to time, but most of my life is spent with, you know, Pakistanis, Arabs, Filipinos. My wife's from Philippines, you know. So I tend not to mix much with the British, especially here, of course, where they're economically and socially a little bit away from us. Yeah. What word did you use?
Alienated.
Alienated, yes. They tend to be in a bit of an enclave, you know.
Yeah.
Golf clubs, tennis clubs, and so forth. You know.
Yeah.
If you're not part of that, you rarely meet them.
Yeah.
Do you have any brothers and sisters who are interested in Islam? Do you have any close relatives who are, you know, sympathetic?
Not really. My sister's not interested at all.
She's younger or older?
Older, 2 years older than me.
She's a married woman?
Divorced.
Divorced, oh yeah. There's a lot of it about.
Runs in the family, I think.
No, there's a lot of it about.
It's not going to happen to me, inshallah.
Inshallah, it won't happen to you. But do you find that you meet people here, non-Muslims, like for example Indian non-Muslims, that they ask about you, they're interested that you're a Muslim, or they don't spot you as a Muslim straight away?
Yeah, people often ask. I normally say the Quran, or sometimes I might just say, because I'm lucky, if I've got a bit of time and stuff, then I'll explain to them a bit further. Yeah. But it's such a common question to be asked.
Yeah, it is.
That that I could easily spend a few hours a day, doing it. So I think I will eventually. I don't mind talking to people about it, but if I'm in a bit of a rush, it would.
I find it's good if you got like some little books in the car or something, and just give them to people, you know.
Yeah. I think A Brief Guide to Islam, and it shows the scientific facts.
Yeah, that's very good.
I was speaking to an Australian man, and I gave him that, and that really intrigued him.
Yes, it is. For intelligent, educated English speakers, that's a fascinating book.
Yeah.
It'll give them a good insight. But there's also some books by Bilal Phillips, Dr. Bilal Phillips, like that True Religion of God.
Yeah, I've
explains some basics in a very simple and logical way, you know.
Yeah, I read some of it. That actually inspired me for wanting to do my PhD, because I read in one of his books, every person is born into social, political, and religious situation not of their own making. And I thought, wow. So I've used that for the title of my.
That's right.
PhD.
That's right. Yeah, we don't ask to be born.
And he lives over here, doesn't
he? He's in Qatar now. In Qatar, but he's in the neighbourhood. Yeah. Well, brother, thanks very much for coming along and talking about your intriguing life. And we hope, inshallah, that in future you'll come and tell us a little more about your unfolding pattern here.
Thanks very much. You're welcome.
And thank you also, dear viewers, for watching. We hope you'll join us the same time next week. Until then, from Elias and myself, Uthman Barry, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.